The message that was shot across the bow is, guess what? The American people, the voters that voted for Trump overwhelmingly, they are MTG. MTG is not radical or extreme. She's mainstream America, and I am very much looking forward to working in an administration that is on that level.
Now hold up a second. America is MTG. I thought we weren't allowed to call people garbage. And all of a sudden she's allowed to. That's ridiculous. That is the greatest insult I've literally ever heard against the American people. And Marge, I'm not gonna stand for it. But anyway, that is Marjorie Greene doing the best she can with what's in her skull to try to spin the results of the election in her direction or to her favor. And look, literally everybody does this. Everybody on the winning side is going to say it's that we won because of everything that I already believed. And generally everybody on the losing side is going to say we lost because of everything I already believed. That's basically how it works. But for Marjorie Greene to imply that everyone is like her because people decided to go for Trump during an election in which the incumbent president was at like 37% approval, I think that's a step too far. That said, we have a little bit more on her and then we'll discuss.
Are you looking forward to an easier time in Congress under the Trump administration? What's something you're looking forward to, I would say?
You know, here's one thing I would like to point out. They've attacked me continuously, called me radical, fringe, extremist. You know what they found out today? President Trump will have over 5 million of the popular vote ahead of Kamala Harris. He will, by the time this is done, likely have 312 electoral college votes. The message that was shot across the bow is, guess what? The American people, the voters that voted for Trump overwhelmingly, they are MTG. MTG is not radical or extreme. She's mainstream America, and I am very much looking forward to working in an administration that is on that level. And we have to get it done. We made a lot of big promises on the campaign trail, and now we have to deliver.
Look, I think I like that she's saying that, partially because it's ridiculous and I like laughing at her. I always have and always will. But also, I want them to draw the wrong lessons from this. I think that we are in the process of diagnosing why the election went the way it did. But if the right believes that the fundamental reason they won is not despite all of the worst excesses and all the nastiness of their side, but that's why. It's that. You don't have to deliver economically. You just have to be, an obscene, offensive dullard. That's all you need. Well, then they're gonna have a surprise, I think, in store for them in 4 years. Mark Robinson, by the way, did not win. Carrie Lake did not win. And let alone in previous elections when people have tried to copy the Trump thing, generally they've had a much harder time than Trump in riding that to electoral success. She seems convinced that no, that's what everyone wants. And maybe that's what America is. I hope not for our sake, but I also don't think so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna disappoint you, John. There's truth to what she's saying. So their side did win, and their side does think like her. So is there a giant difference between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump? She says wacky things, he says wacky things. She says hateful things, he says hateful things. She believes in conspiracy theories, he definitely believes in conspiracy theories. So they kind of did vote for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No, but do you believe that's why he got elected?
No, that's the part where I agree with you. So, and that's super important. He got elected because immigration, inflation, and the Democrats didn't deliver. And Kamala Harris ran a pro-corporate, pro-Cheney campaign. There are other reasons, but I think that that's the core. So if they take that mandate, hey, the Democrats didn't deliver anything economically for us or enough economically for us, and go, oh, okay, so you want hateful things, we'll give you more hateful things, then they're gonna make a giant mistake. And then it's gonna make, my God, if we had a left-wing populist running against them in 2028, they'll get slaughtered if they lean into just the hateful stuff and the wacky stuff and not the things that they actually promised.
That's what I agree.
Right, but we can't say culturally that we're the mainstream when our side lost. So for the moment being, their side is the mainstream. You see what I'm saying?
I think there's a big gap between those two things. I think I think a lot of people have been trying to figure out, did people vote for Trump because of these things or despite these things? And I think if we think that fundamentally people's home finances, their perception of the security here in the United States, or their perception of generally the security around the globe, if that was the big thing, then I think a lot of the Trump stuff they voted for him despite, which I think is still a problem. It's still bad. Things that I think should be deal breakers clearly are not. I think that's a conversation to be had versus that's now what they want out of every candidate, because I just don't think the evidence of other candidates really bears it out. I don't even think MAGA voters didn't even really like other candidates in the Republican primary trying to do a Trump thing. They didn't find that to be as persuasive. So anyway, look, I do think that there is something to be learned from this, but I do think that there are those two potential different lessons that they could draw. And again, I'll just say I want them to learn the wrong lesson, and it seems like they're taking the first steps into that.
Was.
Funny watching that clip, because I think if you're a Republican, especially if you're a Republican in Congress, absolutely. If I were in their position, I'd be like, we just won the popular vote, won the presidency, we won the Senate, we have the House. The American people just handed us a mandate to do all of our stuff. That's precisely what I would be saying. Whether it's true or not, that would be the posture that you should be taking. Like, yeah, go out, get ICE agents to like freaking kidnap the dude making the pizza at your pizza shop who you've been saying hello to for the last 7 years and see if people like it. Like, I really do think that's what should happen. And I think that's what she should be espousing. What I think is most funny about that clip is that her response to this win is not, yes, I'm in Congress. That means we're gonna get to enact our actual agenda, which is what should animate you as a politician. Instead, that came second. What came first was, I'm just like you guys. See, I'm not weird and fringy. You guys should come give me a hug, America. I'm just like all of you. That was really telling to me.
Good point, good point.
Yeah, so again, buckle up. Brace for impact.
Buckle up, y'all.
They're gonna do some of those things. And if they, look, inflation is already down, but if they continue to bring inflation down, great. Well, who's against that, right? If they have a sensible immigration plan, God help us, that would be surprising. That would be surprising, right? But okay, that would be good, right? But again, not as likely. But if they go and start saying, oh, we're gonna lock up our opponents and we're gonna go, and if you, as Trump said, you protest Israel, we're gonna arrest you, deport you, etc. They start doing crazy things, start calling people terrorists that are inside the country that are fellow American citizens, then we're screwed and there's no recourse. And so, but the only recourse is what Waz is pointing out, which is, and what John is saying too, well, F around and find out. Because yeah, maybe you hurt a lot of us in those 4 years, but you're wrong if you think the American people are that extreme. They were just tired of the Democrats not delivering, and they just want economic help. They want help for their family. They're not looking for you to be hateful, they're looking for you to be helpful. And my God, wouldn't it be shocking if the Republicans were?
I like that slogan, by the way.
Yeah, that's good. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Run with it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.